Hi friends, it's Kayla Moran. Welcome back to the Let's Get Candid podcast. How's everybody doing today? Happy Thursday, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever day or time it is that you're listening. So excited to be back on the mic with you guys as always, and I can't believe this is the final episode of 2022. As you guys are listening, I will be heading off to Ecuador in just a few hours, and if you are new here or don't know me very well, my dad is actually from Ecuador. He was born in Ecuador. I'm Cuban Ecuadorian. My mom is from Cuba, and I'm first generation American, so I'm really excited to finally be able to visit one of my countries because I've never been to Ecuador and I've always wanted to go, and I've never been to South America either, so I'm just really excited to experience Ecuador and a little bit of my culture. And we are not going to where my dad is from. Actually, we're going to other parts of Ecuador. There's 4 regions basically, and we're going to 2 of them. So we're not going to the coast, and we're not going to the Galapagos Islands, which is famous for the wildlife, the nature, the tortoises. We're not doing that part of Ecuador this trip. We want to save that for another trip when we do the coast and the Galapagos and make that a whole different experience. We're doing the Sierra and we're doing the mountains and the Amazon. So I'm gonna go into the Amazon and unplug and be in nature for a little while, and I'm actually really looking forward to it, and I think it's the perfect way to kick off a new year. And that's kind of what I want to talk about in this intro before we dive into the episode with my friend Ashley. So in this intro, I want to talk about my intentions for the new year. But before I talk about my intentions, I want to share the lessons that I've learned in the last 2 years, because I did a little bit of this in last year's first episode of 2022, and I shared the lessons I've learned in 2021. But I think I want to share them again and share the lessons I've learned in 2022, because I feel like I've learned a lot of the same lessons over and over, and I think they keep coming into your life and being taught to you until you learn them and accept them and move on from them. You know, it's kind of the universe's way of saying, like, you have more to learn here. And a lot of the lessons I learned last year were the lessons I learned this year as well, because I was honestly just in a period of transformation in the last 2 years. I really think that I've come into my own so much, especially in the last 6 months, and we talked about that in intros in the last 2 weeks. But I want to share these again because I just feel like it's been a period of 2 years of just incredible transformation, incredible growth, and these lessons are all really intertwined. I can't pinpoint like which one was from which year. They all kind of just kept coming up for me. So I wanted to share them, and then we'll talk about intentions for the new year. So one of the best lessons I've learned is confidence comes from trusting yourself. If you listen to Kaylin Apple's episode on the podcast back at the very beginning, the Redhead Academic, she talks about this a lot, how confidence comes from trusting yourself and keeping promises to yourself. And when she said that to me, it really resonated in 2021, and I really found that in 2022 this was the truth. Like, I've always struggled with self-esteem issues. I was actually telling someone this earlier today. I've never been insecure outwardly, but I've always struggled with feeling like I was good enough and like a deep insecurity within myself. And outwardly, I've always come off very confident, and I am, but inside, I just never felt, like I was good enough. And it's imposter syndrome. That's what they said when I said that. And I was like, I never really thought of it that way. Like, I've experienced imposter syndrome now, and you guys know that I don't like calling it that because it's not a syndrome. It's fleeting. It's in a moment, and it means nothing. Like, it's just, you are good enough. You do deserve a place at the table. I just did a TikTok about that a couple of weeks ago that did really well, and I'll link it in the show notes for you guys, and if you need a little pep talk. But yeah, it was like this level of imposter syndrome. Like, I just never felt I was good enough, and people always had these expectations of me, and I was never able to meet them, and I felt like I had to work 10 times harder than everybody else, and I was trying so hard for so long. And I've gotten to the point now where I feel like, you know what? I've always been outwardly confident. Why am I trying so hard still, though? Like, let me just trust that I know what I'm doing and that I'm going about things in the right way and that I'm doing things and the best path for me. And who cares if it doesn't look like what everyone else expects it to look like or wants it to look like for me. They're not me. I'm me. And this feels good. And just trusting that and keeping those promises that I make to myself and being intentional, that has built up so much confidence in me. So that one has been the biggest one for me, and I think the most important one. So I wanted to start off with that one. And then another one is trust the process. Everything happens for a reason. If you've been here for a while, you know that I say it all the time, but lo que es para ti, nadie te lo quita. What's for you, no one will take away from you. It is meant for you. It is coming your way. You just have to be patient and work hard in the meantime and be open to it, and it'll come your way. So learning to trust the process, learning to trust your instincts and trust your gut. That has been a big lesson for me this year. I got in touch with my human design and I learned that my gut is my authority. I have a sacral authority. My gut instincts, my body just tells me, and I say like my anxiety is teaching me something because it's coming from my gut. That's where I get the visceral reaction. And I just have to trust the process and trust my instincts, trust my gut, that I know if something is right for me or if it's not right for me. My body deep down, my gut knows, and I just need to listen to it and trust my instincts and trust my gut. And then this one, I actually also made a TikTok about this recently. If I'm too much, look for less elsewhere. I always wanted so badly to fit in and feel like I belonged. And I was trying so hard, like I said, and I was always being told that I was too much or too this or too emotional or too overwhelming or too passionate or too that. And you know what? If I'm too much for you, look for less. Kind of case in point, end of story there. Like I'm done trying so hard for everybody else. If it's not even making me happy or serving me, I'm going to do me and trust myself. And I'm just going to work on being quietly confident in that way and showing up as the best version of me. And in that way, I inspire so many more people and it just feels way better. So that one was one that honestly I needed to learn so many years ago, and just I think I finally I'm getting it. But there's always more work to be done. And I kind of mentioned this earlier, but your anxiety is your body's way of telling you something. Like for me, truly, and I wrote a whole blog post on this, I'll link it below too. Truly, like my gut instinct is so strong. My body just reacts viscerally. And I always thought, I was like, I get vibes from people. I read energies from people. Like I'm not a good reader of people's intentions necessarily, but like the vibes, like I can just tell if they're good or bad. Like this person's not a good person or not the right person for me or for this. Like I don't know what their intentions are, but like I get the idea that like, this isn't right. And I always thought like that was just like, I get vibes from people, but no, it's my gut just like feeling like, this isn't right for you. So, sometimes your anxiety can teach you something, and it's okay to listen and lean into it. And, that's me. I have a gut authority, a sacral authority. If you are someone who's more mind or heart, maybe that's different. But for me, my anxiety comes out more so when something isn't aligned for me and right for me. And, aligned anxiety is like fear of the future and, future tripping and thinking too much, too fast, and like thinking ahead and like needing to slow down a little bit. So I think it kind of all makes sense, at least for me. That's been my experience. I can only speak for myself. Be more spontaneous. Some of my greatest experiences in the last 2 years have truly come from when I just let go and had fun. And I stopped caring so much and I stopped trying so hard, and I was just go with the flow, and I was spontaneous, and I met some really fun people, had some really great times, and it was a lot of fun. And I had so much fun in Europe because I was just go with the flow like 90% of the time, and it was so much fun. And it was really nice to just let loose and let my hair down, so to speak, and be spontaneous. And I really want to lean into that more, and just I think I'm always going to be a planner at heart, but being a little bit more spontaneous will do me good. Another one, gratitude is the gift that keeps on giving. You guys know I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but being in a grateful and abundant mindset has truly changed my life and my perspective, and just being grateful for every opportunity that has come my way, no matter what, good, bad, ugly, like truly just being in gratitude. And it's so minor as just like, wow, like I'm grateful for that. Or hugging yourself and say, I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful for you. Like, look at everything you've accomplished. I'm really proud of you. I'm grateful that you're here. And saying that to people whenever they do something nice for you, and just looking back at past experiences and being grateful for what they taught you, and even past friendships or past relationships, people that are no longer in your life, or opportunities that are no longer in your life, being grateful for what they taught you and what they brought to your life, even if they're no longer in it. So gratitude is the gift that keeps on giving. You don't need to do everything all the time. Like, that's a big one. Like, you don't need to say yes to everything. It's okay to say no more. That was my last one. It's okay to say no more. You don't have to do everything for everyone at all times. It's okay to take a step back and reflect and like recognize that something isn't serving you and take a step back. And I tend to overextend myself a lot because I want to be involved. I want to do all these different things. I get so inspired and passionate and excited, and then too much responsibility, and I need to slow down and take a step back and like, is this really working for me? Does this fit where I see myself right now or in the future? Is it serving me? Can I take a step back, or is it okay if I walk away? Like, how can I do this in a way that feels right, for whoever it is or whatever opportunity is? And like, I don't want to burn any bridges or be mean or rude or whatever, leave them hanging, but how can I do it in a way that I'm able to take that off my plate and it feels good to me? So those are some lessons I learned this year, and I think a lot of it comes from just living in a wellness and more abundant mindset, and just being open to opportunities and being grateful for what comes your way and teaches you, and trusting that and allowing that to give you confidence. And they all really just go together, So I hope that you like these lessons and take them with you. I hope that if you're in a similar phase of life as I am, postgraduate, whether you're 22, 23, or 25, 26, 27, if you're in a similar place in life as me, that this speaks to you and that we can keep working on this together. And of course, I will bring you along on the journey and in the process on social media and here on the podcast, and share it all with you, because that's how we learn, right? From other people's experiences, and being open to taking lessons from everywhere, because there's beauty in everything, even if we just can't see it right now. And with that, so my word of 2022 was self-love. It was, I wanted to work on loving myself and not caring so much about what people think. That was really what I wanted in 2022. And I think, honestly, what ended up being my word for 2022, if I had to sum it all up, was growth. Just transformation, true growth, both personally and professionally. And I think in 2023, I want my word to be presence. Growth is still there. Self-love and evolution is still there. Enjoyment was a big one for me in 2022. I really still want that for me in 2023. But I think presence and just being, and it goes with fun, enjoyment, spontaneity. Enjoy the moment and be present in the moment. And with that comes self-love and growth. So I think they're all, again, very interconnected. But if I had to sum up 2022, I would say it was growth. And if I could set a word for 2023, I want it to be presence. And I'm really looking forward to doing this in a year from now and seeing kind of what sums it all up. My intentions for the new year. So I want to continue drinking a lot of water. I try to drink 28 ounces of water before I drink my coffee or eat breakfast. 9 times out of 10, I get about 3/4 of the way of that, which is a good start. And it's better than what I used to do. So I want to continue that. And I want to continue my healthy eating and movement practice. I'm not great at it, but when I do it, I feel so much better. I did it today and it felt great. And the days that I do it, I feel the difference. So I want to get better and into it more and into my routine. 2022 was a weird year because half of it I was still in school. A third of it I was still in school, a third of it I was studying for the bar, and then a third of it I was working. So there's just a lot going on. But now that in 2023 I'm truly in my career, I want to create a routine for myself and really fit in healthy eating and movement. And I really want to be kinder to myself. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I feel that other people put a lot of pressure on me, and I feel like, again, I'm trying so hard to be someone that I'm not for other people, or because other people want that of me or expect that of me, and in reality, I'm the only one projecting that to myself. So I want to be kinder on myself and work on that. and I want to work on building stronger friendships and family relationships. I want to travel. There's so many things I want to do, so many places I want to go. I have a whole list of places I want to go and recommendations, but I have a couple of trips planned for 2023, and I really just want to travel and, again, be more spontaneous. If something comes up and weekend trip here and there, if I can do it, I can do it. And, I just want to, go with the flow. And I really want to prioritize building my businesses. That is a big, big intention and goal of mine for the year, is just to really prioritize my business and be working in my business, building it up. And I'm really excited to see where it takes me. And the last one is being in tune with my gut and my body. And again, going back to healthy eating and drinking water and movement and my gut. I really want to be more in tune with it and listen to it, because it has never steered me wrong. Oh, it's only steered me wrong when I haven't listened to it, but it has truly never steered me wrong. And I want to keep leaning into that now that I know for a fact that is my authority. So those are my intentions for 2023. Let me know what your word is for the year in the comments, in the reviews, DM me, email me. I'm really excited to see, and I can't wait to bring you along on the ride that is 2023. As always, thank you guys so much for listening. If you liked it, please leave a rating and a review. Please subscribe to the show, follow along, share with a friend, tag us as you're listening, and let me know, like I said, in the comments, in the DMs, email me, ping me however you want. I want to know what your word is for the year of 2023 and what your intentions are and the biggest lesson you learned in 2022. Oh, and let me know in Geneva also. I'll make a group in there so you guys can let me know. And I can't wait to see all that we will accomplish in the new year together. Thank you guys so much for being here with me, and I will talk to you guys all in the new year.